Good Monday. Scott Spears along with you on The Exchange. Going to be a fun Monday. We've got some new faces here. We're really going to knock it out of the park. We've got a lot of announcements. It is a jam-packed Monday, which we're going to get to in just one moment. Before we do anything, we have to thank our sponsors. The Exchange is brought to you by the Ohio Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, Scott M. Gray, D.C., across from the Marion Center between TSC and Kroger. Call 740-386-6580. And by Bucyrus Placemats. To put an ad in, call Wayne, 419-562-8473, located at 116 Wayne Avenue in Bucyrus, also on the net at bucyrusplacemats.com. Now, normally we'll go to Charlie Evers here, and we will for the rest of the week. Just have to make a little announcement. Since the beginning of this program, Fritz the Night Owl has been a panelist. After last week's taping, he announced that he was going on to pursue other things, and we certainly wish him the best. He was good while he was here. I'm very fond of him, and we wish him nothing but the best. He will no longer be with us, but we'll still try and be a hot show with hot topics, interesting things, and I'm sure we will with the group we have. Thank you. And now, without any further ado, we go to my pal, Charlie Evers, with Fascinating Facts.
You know, the other day we talked about, I think it was probably 2 weeks ago, about the fact that I managed to get the secret recipe for everything sauce from the Footlong hot dog stand. Now, that was many years ago they were in operation. But everybody loved those 35-cent footlongs and that everything sauce. And I mentioned I don't have the exact ratio of ingredients, but it consists of sugar, of ketchup, mustard, and diced onions. And you mix all that together in certain proportions, and you'll just have to taste to get the right proportion.
What's it supposed to taste like?
I don't know what you would...
Like if I go home and mix up this stuff, when do I know I have it right?
As soon as it stands up and says, I'm everything. I don't, do it to your own satisfaction. But it's strange that you use sugar, ketchup, mustard, and onions, you know, but it makes the greatest combination. And everyone seemed like that bought those 35-cent footlongs wanted the everything sauce, not just mustard, not just ketchup, but the whole works.
So this was kind of the pre-Mac sauce and things of that nature.
That's right. This was the old original. And after a family member told me the secret, I mentioned it on the air years and years ago, and they almost threw him out of the family.
Because he told you.
That's right. That was a guarded secret.
So you didn't guard it very well.
So those of you watching and listening, you've got something that a lot of people don't have. Not poison ivy, but
now they
everything sauce.
Now they have the everything sauce. Do want to mention on the panel this week, Marianne Michaels, of course, as always, two new faces joining us. The First Lady of Dance in Marion, the Grand Dame of Dance, certainly, Martha Douse-Manesi. Martha, thank you for being here.
Well, I'm pleased to be here with Marianne and Charlie Evers. You put on a wonderful show.
Well, it's good to have you here, Martha.
Thank you.
And we have Kate Jacob, who is the granddaughter of one of our panelists from the past, longtime Marion politician, Norma Jacob. Kate has done all kinds of great things, traveling all over the world. Very fascinating person, just graduated from college.
That's right.
What's the degree in?
The degree is Bachelor of Arts, and my major is called Diplomacy and Foreign Affairs, and I focused on Middle East and Islamic Studies.
Now that'll be something to talk about. We'll get into that as the week goes on. Do want to get into two very interesting topics on this Monday. Number one, we talked about this last week, but there's new revelations in the Arnold and Maria breakup. We recently learned the power couple, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver, have decided to separate after a 25-year marriage, and while the split initially appeared to be relatively drama-free, recently Arnie dropped a bomb, admitting he had an affair and fathered a child with one of his household staffers. While the affair took place a decade ago, Shriver only recently found out about it, prompting the announcement of the couple's separation. Now, I don't want to say I told you so, but if you are a regular viewer or listener of this program, last Monday we did an episode on Arnold and Maria, and Mary Ann and I got into a little contretemps about if somebody has an affair in a marriage, do you stay? Now, we didn't relate it to this, but it was spurned off of this story. I said there's no way I could stay with somebody that had had an affair. Mary Ann, you said it was circumstantial. Maria Shriver, I don't think, thinks it's circumstantial.
No, well, the thing of it is, he had a child. I think that was one of the main reasons.
Does that change it?
I think that does, definitely. You know, and because you can forgive somebody for one, you know, betrayal. I think, you know, eventually you could. You could work it out. I personally think that, but since he had a child, and he had the child by a person who worked for them for many, many years, I think like 10 years. She worked with the family, and this was all going on. I think that would be a crushing thing to know, and I can understand her stance. I would have done the same thing.
Arnold is not a dumb man, obviously.
No.
Now, you say if he had had the affair, there's a possibility that Maria could have just forgiven that. But the fact that there's a baby involved...
And the fact that it went on for so many years right in her own house, I mean, that's pathetic.
Okay, well, what's the difference between a one-night stand and having it go on in your house for years and years?
Oh, big. I mean, because you could have a one-night stand and, you know, maybe you had too much to drink or something, and you know, it was a fling. But if it went on as long as it did, it meant he felt something for her. He really had a connection with her. And that would mean that he totally, you know, was dishonest to his wife.
Now, I want to bring up the speculation on this one. I don't know that he's continued on a relationship with this woman for 10 years. He had an affair with her 10 years ago. Only takes one affair to have a baby. And I think that maybe is what happened. Now, does that change anything?
Yeah, but the thing of it is, the person worked with them for all that time. So you would have to think that perhaps that was the situation. I don't know.
See, this is so interesting to me because I am of the belief that if the person cheats, whether there's a baby, whether it's 10 years till you find out, whether they're living with you, that's it. Because they're going to do it again. I mean, that's like maybe if Maria had found out the first time that this happened and she'd said, Arnold, okay, one time, 25-year marriage, I forgive it. Mm-hmm. And then it went on, I think it would have gone on again. That's just human nature.
Well, not necessarily, Scott. It's not necessarily human nature.
Not to cheat, but to, once you have, do it again. Anything you'll do once, you'll do again.
No, I don't believe that. I
Really?
mean, for some people, maybe, yes, but not necessarily. I have to give Arnold credit for actually finally admitting it. He knew when he admitted it that was going to be the end of his marriage, because I'm sure that Maria Shriver has very high expectations and morals. She comes from a wonderful Catholic family that's very, very devout. And I quite feel very sorry for her. She gave up her career with NBC when he was running for governor, which is what she should have done, because it would have been, you know, not very good for her. Well, it would be. I'm sure that NBC wouldn't have allowed it anyhow, because he was running for office and she was a reporter.
See,
she had to give up her. I mean, I'm sure she gave it up willingly. Probably. I don't know. Who knows? But I feel very bad about it. I feel very sorry for her.
One more thing I want to have in this discussion just with you on this, Mary Ann. If I am of the belief, and maybe I'm wrong, that having an affair is psychological. It's much like alcoholism. And I don't think an alcoholic could just go out and have another beer. And that's what I'm saying when I think if you do it once, you'll do it again. I think it's an addiction. That's why
it could be.
I don't know that.
But we don't know that.
We don't know that.
No.
Kate, you weren't here last week when we had this discussion. You're certainly from a different age group than the rest of us, as we scatter the board here, which is kind of nice. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Maria Shriver, first of all, were you shocked when it happened?
Well, it's always surprising to hear about anybody who is of a higher status in our culture that messes up and doesn't live to the standards that we hold them to. And it's sad anytime that anybody gets a divorce. And I think that it shows that maybe he was trying to do the right thing by like making sure that the child was cared for throughout the whole time, but I think in any relationship, one of the most important things is communication, and clearly that failed in their relationship, and so that was that.
Now it comes to the question again, maybe you're more liberal than I on this subject, maybe it's an age thing. Can you forgive an affair in a relationship, marriage? Can you forgive it?
It would be a really difficult situation. I feel like it depends on the couple, how you know each other and how you have gotten through your relationship. And they've had a very long relationship. 25 years is a very long time to be married, and it's sad that it's ended for them. But it would be difficult to forgive somebody, but if that's your person that you've been with for that long, I don't know. I've never been with somebody for 25 years.
Well, no, what kind of, okay, in your position now, in your age and stage, if you found out that somebody you were in a relationship with, or you happen to be married at this age, some people are, could you forgive it?
I don't know. I would not be happy, that is for sure. And because I'm not bound to marriage at this stage of my life, it changes the name of the game completely. And I would be more prone to say, all right, that's that. But it depends on everybody, I think. And I have to disagree with you on it being a repeated act. I think, like Marianne said, it will happen with some people. You will continue to do that. But I tend to be more optimistic than that and think, oh, well, if one person messed up once, maybe it won't happen again. But you lose trust in a relationship, and that's something that you have to be skeptical about for the rest of your relationship until you can rebuild that trust, and that's centered on communication.
I think you're right. I think any good relationship is built on communication. I wouldn't disagree with that at all. But when I'm talking about the person, male or female, doing it again if it happens once, I'm basing that on anything bad that anybody does, because we in society, I mean, the most horrible thing I think in society is rape. Rape is a terrible, horrible, nasty, disgusting thing. And I think we do need to know where rapists and child molesters are in the neighborhood. Have they done it again? No. But did they do it once? Yeah, and you have to be skeptical. If somebody steals $5,000 from me, I don't know that they're a kleptomaniac, but I might watch my wallet a little closer if I'm around them.
Yes.
And I think that cuts the communication and the relationship down quite a bit. And that's why I can't forgive it.
So, Scott, you're saying a sinner is going to be a sinner forever.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm going to watch them.
Well, which you have every right to.
Right. And I wouldn't want to be in a marriage where I had to be paranoid.
Well, and I can understand that as well.
Because there are good marriages where affairs don't happen.
Yeah, and there are marriages where affairs happen and they are able to work it out, which, especially if they have a family and they don't want to break up their family. I guess the Schwarzeneggers have 4 wonderful children. Sure. And as I understand it, he told the children as well as he told Maria.
It's everybody's choice. I'm not telling people to leave their spouses. I'm just saying for me,
for you, and that's
what
fine.
The thing is about.
And I understand that.
Charlie, you weighed in on this last week and kind of rode the fence. Have you had more time to think about if somebody had an affair, if a wife of yours had an affair, could you forgive it, be married, live with them for another 20 years?
It'd be very difficult.
I think so too.
It'd always be something you would keep bringing up whenever you got into a situation. Well, remember when you did this? And Arnold has muscles, but apparently lacking in brains a little bit.
I heard somebody say one time though, and good Lord, I'm a man here, so this is not good toward the man society. They say, why would a man cheat? Because men are more prone than women. I think the numbers are getting closer, but men are more prone. And they say, why do they do it? And the best answer people could come up with for a long time was because they can. And if that's true, then you really have to be wondering what's going on in your relationship.
Men can be easily enticed sometimes with a very active female.
That's another thing. Does the
Weakness.
Yes, but does the blame go to this employee at all? We don't even know her name. We're not even talking
No,
about
but
her.
think he had to support that child for 10 years without telling his wife. And she probably thinks back now, oh, I wonder, remember when they went here, went there? And his relationship with that lady, she's probably recalling instances where I should have thought something was going on.
Well, see, that's another thing,
But
Charlie.
we don't know if that continued. We don't know
No, we
that.
don't.
We are not aware of that. We have not been, in on that. So
Well, here's-
maybe it was one time only. Who
But
knows?
except he would have had to keep paying her, I'm sure,
Oh,
support.
definitely. And he should have.
Well, Mary Ann, here's the other thing. If somebody has an affair, say you're married to somebody, they have an affair. If that happens, do you ever put the blame on the person who they had the affair with?
No. No. I really don't.
Would you let them go out together again without you being around? Because obviously at some point they went out together without you around. This person worked in the house, so obviously they were alone.
Yes. No, I mean,
That's right, but then that come back to your sin thing, that she may not do it again, so why not let them be alone again?
oh no, that would be foolish.
See, but I think that's where, I'm coming at it from one end here, and you're
Yeah.
coming, I see, but you don't let them do it again. Fool me once, shame on you, fool me
Right.
twice, shame on me.
Right.
Martha, you haven't weighed in on this. Can't wait to hear this one. Tell me about what you think of affairs in a marriage.
Well, I'll tell you, I think it's terrible. Everybody ought to dance all the time and they wouldn't get in trouble.
Well, that would be a perfect answer from Martha Douse. Martha, if a person had an affair, okay, if you were married to a gentleman and he had an affair, could you forgive him?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Oh, because there's just no excuse for that.
Would you ever be able to trust them again?
Nope.
We hope Arnold and Maria work it out.
Arnold came to Columbus a lot of times for bodybuilding. He came to Columbus every year. And I would never think he'd do this.
Well, it's that public figure again. A lot of these public figures. The other thing I want to talk about on this Monday, boy, I love this one. Tear out the front page. Donald Trump is not going to run
Yes, I saw that.
for president.
That is not a surprise.
I'll never be able to sleep
Not
again.
a surprise at all.
Why not a surprise?
He just wanted the publicity. He wants his celebrity apprentice
That's right,
to
Mary
go on
Ann.
forever, and he's making tons of money, and that's all he cares about. As far as I'm concerned, he's a very shallow person.
Tell us what you really think, Mary Ann. No, here's the thing. Tell me about because I'm still on this, because I see it all the time. Tell me about CNN, MSNBC, and Fox, who all covered it like it was a serious event, like he was really running for president.
Well, they had to, Scott. I mean, he is a person that everybody knows, and to me, it was a great story. It was a great thing to report on. I mean,
If he had signed the papers, I would have been okay with them reporting on it. He does this every election cycle. He's done this every presidential run for the last 20 years.
I've never seen it.
Oh, he has. Oh, yeah.
I never knew that.
He did it in 2008. He was going to make a run for it. He did it in 2004. He did it before Celebrity or any Apprentice shows.
Well, I have learned something today, Scott, because I had no idea. I thought it was the first time he ever did it.
Well, he's never taken it to the extent of
being-
calling the president a foreign person.
Well, I hope now we don't hear anything more from him. I'm
See,
sick of it.
Absolutely.
That's where we crossed the line on that story, because that stopped becoming news when that became an issue. You know what? Obama would have never had to show that birth certificate if the news channels were not constantly, and they knew.
Yes, but there were other people, the Tea Party people, they didn't believe that he was a citizen of the United States.
I don't think you put
And that
the
he was
camera on
born
him.
there.
What do you,
No, but,
this is
no.
radical.
No, but we saw a lot of the Tea Party people at that time and what they were saying.
Sure,
We did.
sure.
And they had the same spiel about the fact that, I don't know who he is.
But-
I don't know where he comes from.
But tell me this, Mary Ann, the Tea Party people, I mean, there was a whole movement, birthers. It had been going on for 2.5 years, until Donald Trump got into it.
Well, they
didn't
loved
show the
it.
birth-
Yeah, they loved
The
it.
media eats things up too much. Kate, come
I'll
in.
tell you what, I think that Obama and his team showed, they had a great week there when, first of all, they dropped the bomb, okay, we're gonna show all of the birth certificate, and they released that. Then you have the White House Correspondents' Dinner where Obama blew everybody away by crushing Donald Trump's hopes and dreams, making a fool out of him, making a huge joke about the birth certificate. Just every part about his speech was hilarious, but it was like, this is how ridiculous politics have been recently. And now he put an end to the birth certificate, he put an end to Donald Trump, and then the next night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Then,
all the
Next night,
all right,
next
we
night.
got Osama bin Laden.
And he knew
Right
that.
then, that was the perfect sequence of events, because then you put to an end the birth certificate, you put to an end Donald Trump, and now you have a positive thing going.
And all the time, he knew that this was going
Oh
to
yeah,
happen.
he knew everything
It
was
on his
happening. It
mind.
was planned to a T how
Yes.
they were going to announce these things, and it was, I think it was ingenious how the team pulled that off.
Kate is going to be with us all week, and she's having a good time, and she's tearing it up here. Well, I can't believe we're in the last 4 minutes of the Monday episode. We have a performer here, one of the great country performers that I have heard in a long, long time. His name is Brian Copper, and he's going to sing a song for you, a great song, going to wrap up this Monday. He'll also be back tomorrow, so if you like what you hear, come back on Tuesday. Brian, the floor is yours.
This is a song I performed for Scott and on his shows a couple different times before. It's called Where Does Time Go? Well, I go to work and I go to school. I go to church and learn the golden rule. I go everywhere that I'm supposed to go. I don't know, where does time go? I've left some tracks to show where I've been. Time left its mark on my
Brian, what's the website?
BKCopper at hotmail.com is my email address. It's briancopper.com.
And there is a CD.
That's correct.
Absolutely, you gotta get that CD. Brian will be back to perform another great song tomorrow. The panel will be back. If you want to contact us, you can do that by going to Facebook, The Exchange Marion, or emailing us, irmcommunication@gmail.com. The panel will be back on Tuesday. Brian will be back. Can't wait to see you then. Make it a great Monday. So long. Take a little 5-minute break here. We'll be back for Tuesday.
School called me 4 times in the middle of that.
That was good.
Kate, you're a nice addition.
Yes, you
Nice to
are.
have somebody young.
Perfect.
And you speak